How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the TLC results slash highlights and review video. I'll go over the TLC results, some of the highlights in my opinion, and give you guys my thoughts, my review on the show. So obviously the show kicks off with the pre-show itself. They hype up some of the matches, the World Heavyweight Championship match, and then you have a backstage segment where Sheamus is just sitting in the locker room. Booker T comes up to him, trying to talk to him about the no contact clause or whatever. And Sheamus tells him, I understand that you did what you had to do, and he's just sick of seeing the Big Show. He can't get it out of his head seeing the Big Show just smirking at him on SmackDown. And Booker T says, you can just get payback tonight by being in the Big Show and hitting him with one of these. And then he takes the steel chair and gives it to Sheamus. Tells him to go out there, beat Big Show, and win back the World Heavyweight Championship. And then they promote to more matches. And then we have the actual, Santa's Helper, number one contenders battle royale. And as far as I remember, Rhodes got eliminated first, and then Cameron, and also Alicia Fox, I'm not sure in which order. And then Oksana, and then Tamina also eliminated Layla. And then Naomi actually eliminated Tamina. And then she also eliminated Caitlyn in the end to win the matchup. That was unexpected. I did not expect Naomi or any one of the Funkadactyls to win the matchup, but she actually won the matchup. So with that win, she actually faces Eve that very night. They announced that on the pre-show that the winner of the Battle Royale gets a shot at the champion at TLC. And then you also announced some of the Slimy Award winners from WWE.com. For example, the Insult of the Year went to John Cena. The Tweet of the Year went to Daniel Bryan. And YouTube Show of the Year, Zack Ryder. Facial Hair of the Year, Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan won 2 Slimy Awards. Feat of Strength of the Year was Sheamus hitting the Celtic Cross. Actually, it's not called the Celtic Cross anymore. It's called the White Noise on Big Show. Betrayal of the Year was Big Show KOing John Cena over the limit when he was facing Johnny Ace. Oh yeah, and I'd also like to point out something I forgot. In the Divas Battle Royale, in the end, when it was down to Naomi and Caitlyn, Caitlyn actually lost kind of because of Eve. She was on the apron and Eve just slapped her, and then Naomi, took advantage of that. But Naomi's a face though, but yeah, she didn't see Eve slap Caitlyn, and she won the match. Anyways, after the pre-show, the first match was Rey Mysterio and Cara versus Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow in the tag team tables match, and apparently it's not elimination style. At least not anymore. I don't know. When I read the WWE.com article, it seemed like it was an elimination style matchup, but they announced that you just have to put one of your opponents through a table to win the matchup. It was a really fun match to watch. It was really an entertaining matchup. Really enjoyed the match. And in the end, Sin Cara went for a springboard move on Cody. And on the outside, right behind Sin Cara, there was 2 tables. So you can kind of see where I'm going here. Cara goes for a springboard move on Cody. Cody just runs at him and pushes him off the ropes, and Cara falls to the outside on one of the tables. And Cody and Damien win, so now they're the number 1 contenders to Team Hell No's Tag Team Championships. Great match to start the show with, and then after that, they have a promo of the Shield from earlier tonight. They basically run down Ryback and Team Hell No. And then you have Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth, and Antonio Cesaro wins the matchup. Pretty good match. He wins the match with the neutralizer, and actually R-Truth hit the scissors kick in the matchup, but Antonio Cesaro kicked out. And after the match, he cuts a promo saying that by booing him, since he's the US champ, they're also booing their country and stuff like that. And then they have a backstage interview with Dolph Ziggler. Talks about how, it's not really fair tonight's match, because Dolph Ziggler, if he loses, then he loses what he's earned, and if John Cena wins, then John Cena gets something that he lost or whatever. But then he says, he's actually glad that they're having this match tonight, because tonight everything changes. And then we have the Miz TV with special guests 3MB, and when introducing them, he calls them a train wreck. They tell him, why are you calling us a train wreck? They say they're better than Jay-Z, blah, blah, blah. Towards the end, after the Miz made another joke towards 3MB, they ask the crowd if they think it's funny, and then they ask the Spanish announce team if they think it's funny, but then they say probably not because they don't understand English. And then they get out of the ring, start bullying the Spanish announce team until Ricardo comes out and tries to stop them, just calmly trying to tell them to stop. but then they bully Ricardo, and then Del Rio comes out. That was kind of unexpected. Well, actually, once Ricardo came out, I was slightly expecting it, but didn't expect the Del Rio face turn tonight. So anyways, Del Rio comes out for the save. He starts beating them all up. You know, all three members of 3MB. The Miz is still in the ring, not doing anything. But eventually 3MB get the advantage. And then they throw Del Rio back in the ring and start attacking him. And in the process, he kind of, pushes Miz aside. And because of that, the Miz gets involved. And Miz and Del Rio take them out of the ring. And then 3MB challenge the Miz and Del Rio to find a partner tonight so they could have, a match, a 6-man tag team match. So the Miz accepts their challenge and says they'll find a tag team partner tonight. And then there's a backstage segment with Kane and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan says he finds that Ryback is hard to talk to, kind of like Kane. And then he says it's a whole feed me more thing, he doesn't like it when somebody repeats themselves over and over again. And Kane's like, what? Are you kidding me? And Kane says, they're just going to destroy the Shield. Kane's Shield bodies will be broken, but they'll be the ones doing the breaking. And then Kane says, I think they'll burn the Shield down. Then Daniel Bryan chants, yes, yes, yes. And then you have Matt Striker backstage with Wade Barrett. Striker asks him how confident he is tonight. Barrett says supremely confident. And then he says, Kofi Kingston is like a cat, but that cat doesn't have 9 lives, and tonight he gets neutered. And then they have the actual matchup, Wade Barrett coming out, and then Kofi Kingston for the match for the IC Championship. It's a pretty good match. In the end, Kofi Kingston, Wade Barrett, was going to go for the bullhammer elbow. And just as he was about to hit it, Kofi Kingston countered that and hit the Trouble in Paradise and went for the victory. So Kofi Kingston is still the IC champion. And then after that, they introduced CM Punk, who's like up in the crowd watching the show. He talked about how Ryback, well, first of all, he bashes the crowd and then talks about how Ryback is dumb because he injured him, so he couldn't defend the title against him tonight at TLC. And he's also lucky because he injured him, and because of that, CM Punk can't defend the title against him tonight at TLC because CM Punk would have destroyed him. And then he also says he started 2012 as champion, and now he's going to end 2012 as champion, and the scariest thing is, he's only getting started. And then we actually have the match, the 6-man tag team match between Ryback and Team Hell No versus The Shield. And holy shit, this match was freaking awesome. Awesome match, seriously. My expectations just, I didn't expect this match to be so good. This was a freaking great match. Lots of action, plenty of action in the matchup, lots of use of the ladders, the steel chairs. Ryback got powerbombed through the table once again. Kane hit a chokeslam on Dean Ambrose, through a steel chair, double superplex on Daniel Bryan from the top rope, from on top of the table. Even had a spot where Ryback, they were beating up Ryback on the stage, and they put him on a table. That was towards the end. They put him on the table, and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose just left back to go back in the ring and work on Daniel Bryan. And Seth Rollins climbed up a ladder. It was like the tallest ladder in the arena. He climbed that up, and he was going to jump on Ryback, but Ryback got up, and then he climbed the ladder to go after Seth Rollins, grabbed him, and just threw him through another table, close to the stage. And you also had Roman Reigns spearing Kane through the barricade. Seriously, it was a freaking awesome match. And in the end, Ryback took a little bit too long to get back in the ring after throwing Seth Rollins through the table. And in the ring, Roman Reigns, with the help of Dean Ambrose, hit a powerbomb from the top rope through a table on Daniel Bryan and got the victory. So Shield wins the matchup, and that was, once again, I gotta say once again, it was just so good. It was a freaking awesome matchup. And then after that, we have Eve versus Naomi. It was a very quick matchup, pretty much a squash match. Eve wins with the neck breaker. After the match, she tells the cameraman or photographer to take a couple pictures of her. And then we get an interview with Big Show backstage. Big Show says the smartest thing Sheamus could have done is break the no contact clause so we don't have the matchup. But he says he's looking forward to the matchup, blah, blah, blah. And then they actually have the matchup, Big Show versus Sheamus. Pretty decent match. And they both hit their finishers. Big Show hit the choke slam. Sheamus kicked out. And actually, Sheamus, I don't think he hit the bro kick. So yeah, Big Show hit the choke slam. Sheamus kicked out. And then he went for another choke slam, this time through 2 steel chairs, but Sheamus countered that and hit the white noise through those steel chairs, but Big Show actually kicked out. I was expecting Sheamus to win then. And then Sheamus went for the bro kick, but he missed as Big Show dodged, so Sheamus' leg caught the ropes, and then Big Show hit the knockout punch. Sheamus kicked out of that. So then Big Show went outside and he brought out this huge-ass chair. It was like this big-ass chair. I've never seen a steel chair this big before. He brings that, he goes in the ring and hits Sheamus with it on the back, and then goes for the pinfall and wins the match up. No cash-in from Dolph Ziggler. Big Show just wins. He's still the world champion. And then we have 3MB coming out for their tag team matchup. Miz comes out and Del Rio come out, and then the Miz introduces their tag team partner, and it's the Brooklyn Brawler. He comes out, and they have the 6-man tag team match. The match ends when the Miz hits the skull-crushing finale on Jinder, and then he tags in Brawler, who locks on the Boston Crab, and wins the matchup for his team as Jinder taps out. Oh yeah, and I'd also like to point out, before the actual 6-man tag team match, it was a backstage segment with AJ and John Cena. Bottom line, she thanks him for everything, and he tells her to, not to thank him now, but to thank him after he beats Dolph Ziggler for the Money in the Bank briefcase. So anyways, after that, well, actually after the 6-man tag team match, they show a video package of the feud between Dolph Ziggler and John Cena. Now moving on to the actual matchup, great match. And what's funny about this match is they didn't just use ladders. This is a ladder match, but they used tables and a steel chair too. So really, this was pretty much the real TLC match of the show, where you actually have to climb up and grab something, and they use tables and chairs. So they should have called this a TLC match. Anyways, Dolph Ziggler was, John Cena had Dolph Ziggler in the AA a bunch of times, and Dolph Ziggler got out of the AA like 3 times. All 3 times, he countered with something different, which was pretty cool. And at some point, you also had Dolph Ziggler blocking on the sleeper hold on John Cena, but John Cena kept climbing up the ladder with Dolph Ziggler on his back. And at some point, on top, John Cena passes out with Dolph Ziggler on his back, so he falls with Dolph Ziggler through a table. They both fall, but Dolph Ziggler gets up first. You also had Cena lucky on the STF at some point, and Dolph Ziggler hitting the zigzag, and also John Cena pulled off a Hurricane Rana. Yeah, he did that. Hurricane Rana through the table. So that was pretty unexpected. Seems like every single month or 2 months or something, John Cena pulls a new move. This time, John Cena learned Hurricane Rana. I don't know. Anyways, that was pretty impressive. And towards the end, Vicky came out, and she had a steel chair in hand, and she was about to hit John Cena. She was waiting for John Cena to get up to hit him with the steel chair. But then AJ comes out for the save, and I think she takes the steel chair away from Vicky, and then hits a back suplex on Vicky, followed by the 5-knuckle shuffle. So, imitating John Cena there. And then John Cena sets up the ladder, starts climbing up the ladder, and AJ starts skipping around the ladder, and then she pushes John Cena off the ladder. I called it. I said in my prediction game video that I could see AJ turning on John Cena, and she did. So she pushes John Cena off the ladder. He falls. He kind of falls face first on the ropes. He's still up, and then he turns around. Ziggler's back in the ring, quickly hits a super kick on John Cena, and then Ziggler kind of looks at AJ confused, and AJ smiles and just leaves. He climbs up the ladder and grabs the briefcase, and Dolph Ziggler is still Mr. Money in the Bank. So the show ends with Dolph Ziggler winning the match, and Cena down in the ring, I guess. So that's pretty much it for the show. What did I think about the show? I thought it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed this pay-per-view. Really enjoyed the first TLC match. The 6-man tag team one with Team Hell No, Ryback versus The Shield. That was an awesome match. Also enjoyed the main event ladder match between John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. And I also enjoyed the tables match between Damien, Sandow and Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio and Cara. If I have to rank these matches, I would rank the first TLC match that's won by pinfall and submission first. And then the Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena ladder match. And then the tables match. Those are my top 3 matches, and I guess highlights of the night, especially that first TLC match. Seriously, that was great. Match of the night. So, what would I give this show if I have to give it a rating? I'd probably give it a solid 7.5 out of 10, maybe even 8 on 10. Seriously, it was a solid show. I enjoyed the show. Anyways, in the comment section, tell me what you guys thought about the show. What was your favorite match? Like I said, mine was the first TLC match. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate a like/thumbs up. Really helps me out, guys. With that said, I'm out. See ya.